Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of liver pâté and exploring its shelf life. As a huge fan of this delicious spread, I've always been curious about how long it actually lasts. So, in this video, we'll be taking a deep dive into the factors that influence the shelf life of liver pâté, including its composition, storage conditions, and even the type of packaging. We'll also be discussing some handy tips and tricks for maximizing the shelf life of your pâté, so you can enjoy it for as long as possible. Whether you're a seasoned pâté connoisseur or just starting to explore its rich flavors, this video has something for everyone. So, grab your favorite crackers and a glass of wine, and let's get started. Unopened refrigerated pâté, commercially produced, up to 2 weeks, check the best by date on the packaging. Homemade, 3 to 5 days. Commercially produced, up to 2 weeks, check the best by date on the packaging. Homemade, 3 to 5 days. Opened refrigerated pâté, commercially produced, 3 to 5 days. Homemade, 1 to 2 days. Commercially produced, 3 to 5 days. Homemade, 1 to 2 days. Frozen pâté, commercially produced, up to 2 months, quality may deteriorate after that. Homemade, up to 3 months, quality may deteriorate after that. Commercially produced, up to 2 months, quality may deteriorate after that. Homemade, up to 3 months, quality may deteriorate after that. Unopened refrigerated pâté, commercially produced, up to 2 weeks, check the best by date on the packaging. Homemade, 3 to 5 days. Commercially produced, up to 2 weeks, check the best by date on the packaging. Homemade, 3 to 5 days. Opened refrigerated pâté, commercially produced, 3 to 5 days. Homemade, 1 to 2 days. Commercially produced, 3 to 5 days. Homemade, 1 to 2 days. Frozen pâté, commercially produced, up to 2 months, quality may deteriorate after that. Homemade, up to 3 months, quality may deteriorate after that. Commercially produced, up to 2 months, quality may deteriorate after that. Homemade, up to 3 months, quality may deteriorate after that. Additional notes: always store pâté in an airtight container in the refrigerator. Do not refreeze pâté that has been thawed. If you are unsure whether pâté is still good, it is best to err on the side of caution and throw it away. The shelf life of pâté can vary depending on the specific ingredients and preparation methods used. It is always best to refer to the manufacturer's instructions or consult a reliable source for specific storage and handling information. Homemade liver pâté is a delicious and nutritious treat, but it's important to store it properly to prevent spoilage. Here are some tips: refrigerate. Store your homemade liver pâté in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 3 to 5 days. Freeze. For longer storage, you can freeze your liver pâté for up to 2 to 3 months. Thaw it in the refrigerator overnight before serving. Canning. Canning is another option for long-term storage. Follow a safe canning recipe to ensure your pâté is properly preserved. Commercially produced liver pâté typically has a longer shelf life than homemade pâté. Check the packaging for specific storage instructions, but generally, you can store unopened jars or cans of liver pâté in a cool, dark place for several months. Once opened, refrigerate the pâté and consume it within a few days. Freezing liver pâté is a great way to extend its shelf life. However, it's important to note that freezing can slightly alter the texture and flavor of the pâté. If you're concerned about this, you can freeze small portions of pâté to test before freezing a larger batch. Here are some tips for freezing liver pâté. Portion: divide the pâté into individual portions before freezing. This will make it easier to thaw and use later. Wrap: wrap each portion tightly in plastic wrap or freezer-safe bags. Label: label the packages with the date and contents. Freeze: freeze the pate flat on a baking sheet until solid, then transfer to a freezer-safe container. The shelf life of liver pate can vary depending on its composition. Pates made with a high percentage of liver will have a shorter shelf life than those made with other ingredients, such as vegetables or grains. Additionally, pates that contain preservatives will have a longer shelf life than those that do not. Here is a general guide to the shelf life of liver pate, depending on its composition. Homemade pate, 3 to 5 days in the refrigerator, 2 to 3 months in the freezer. Commercially produced pate, unopened several months in a cool, dark place. Commercially produced pate, opened a few days in the refrigerator. It's always best to check the packaging for specific storage instructions and to use your best judgment when determining whether a pate is still safe to eat. If you have any doubts, it's always better to err on the side of caution and discard the pate.